Hello, Virgos, and welcome to this, your May 1st through May 15th reading and predictions. If you are new here, a very warm welcome. And if you are returning, thank you for continuing to support the channel. Let's dive in. Virgos, in your last reading, the cards indicated you had a decision that you needed to make, and the answers were inside of you. You had the High Priestess twice, and you had the Moon come up asking you to tap deeply into your intuition and to actually listen to it. Pay attention. You also had, I believe it was the Four of Pentacles come up, and you were being guided to explore your relationship with material things. That's kind of a lot. So, how did things go? Were you able to tap deeply into your intuition, begin to listen to it a little bit more? Did you get some answers? Let's dive in. Virgo. The first cards that we're going to pull for you, Virgo, are going to be cards for where you are at now and what's going on for you right now. Oh, apparently you have a lot going on because we have four cards that have popped out for you. We have the Fool as your very first card. Amazing. Oh, and then we have the Tower. Oh my. Hmm. Okay, so for your first few cards here, Virgo, you have three cards from the Major Arcana coming in as your first few cards. Pretty powerful energies. You got a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces here. And you also have the Ten of Pentacles here. Ten of Pentacles, really positive card. All right, you have the Fool coming in here as the very first card of your reading. The Fool, of course, is all about new beginnings, heading out on a new adventure. The very next card that you have here, Virgo, is the Tower. Tower is about unexpected change, sudden change. I want to say with these two cards coming out together, the Fool first and then the Tower immediately afterwards, you are being set out upon a new adventure, embarking on something new that you never saw coming. This completely blindsided you, and you went, oh my gosh, my life is changing. How did this happen? How did I get here? The Tower, before I move on. The Tower. A lot of people, when they see the Tower come up in readings, do the okay, no need for that. What the Tower reminds us of is that there are three constants in our life, not two. A lot of people will say death and taxes are the only two constants in our life. No, actually, there is one more constant in our lives. And when we accept that constant, that's when our life can become even more beautiful. What is that constant? It's change. You cannot avoid change. You cannot run away from change. When you do try and run away from change and you try and stay in your comfort zone for far too long, the universe throws towers at you. They throw the tower card right at you. And the tower card reminds us that in order for us to continue to grow and really embrace the life and the experiences that we're meant to have here on earth, we have to continue to change. We have to accept change. There's no two ways about it. A lot of people, like I said, are afraid of the tower, but when you accept that change is a constant in life, you then recognize the tower as being the card that opens doors to us, opens opportunities, opens our eyes to new experiences. You have the Devil coming in here. Oh my, Virgo. The Devil is a card of ego, and it's the card of a deep, deep exploration into something that your last reading asked you to do. And it's interesting that you have the Devil coming in asking you to, okay, back up. Major Arcana, the Fool, the Tower, the Devil, the High Priestess, all of those cards are shouty cards. They come in and they yell at us. Their energies are big, overwhelming, yelling, hey, I need your attention. The Minor Arcana cards, like the Four of Pentacles, is more of a dear friend saying, hey, I think there's something that you need to pay attention to. Last month, you had the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles came in and said, hey, I think you need to pay attention to your relationship with the material world, how you interact with it. What are your priorities with regards to money and finances and the material world? What are your needs versus your wants? The Devil is that message on steroids, Virgo. Explore your relationship to the material world. What are your needs versus your wants? If you are sitting there going, I want, I want, I want, I want, I want, and everything that you want has absolutely no value with regards to what you need, which is food, clean water, shelter, safety. You need a good group of family or friends that you can rely on. Those are needs. And if you're putting the needs on the back burner because you're putting your wants ahead of your needs, that's a problem. And this card coming in immediately after the Tower is indicating if you have been living that way, things need to change and you need to head out on a new beginning. The last card that you have in where you are at now is the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles is the Save for a Rainy Day card. It's the card of RRSPs, 401ks, whatever your retirement savings plan happens to be called. Now, disclaimer, of course, I am not a certified financial advisor. I am not giving you formal certified financial advice. So, what the Ten of Pentacles gives us is good common sense advice. Don't spend 100% of your paycheck 100% of the time. Save for a rainy day, and then you can have a beautiful future. That's the message of the Ten of Pentacles. So everything that's coming up here, Virgo, looks like it is a continuation of your last reading, that you are still working through your relationship with money and finances and the material world, and that there is some change happening within you that is expanding out into your world and your experiences. So we're going to pull cards of what you are focusing on now. There are a lot of cards coming out from the fairies, so I will collect them up and then we will mix up the smaller portion of the deck in just a moment, because this is a lot. What's happening there? It's going to come out. Yeah, those cards are going to come out as well. Okay, so as I drop this, you're going to notice that there are a bunch more cards that remain sticking up. Okay, let's collect up this mess that is now all over my desk. Oh my. If you're focusing on this much, Virgo, we need to talk. You may have a little bit too much going on there. So let's mix these up and let's ask the fairies, what is Virgo actually focusing on for the first half of May? Where are they putting their attentions and their thoughts? All right. So we've narrowed it down. We have two more major arcana cards. We have a King of Pentacles and we have a Three of Cups. So the very first card that came out is the Empress. The Empress, again, is about new ideas, new creativity. The Empress is often depicted in the tarot as a pregnant female who is on the verge of birthing a new idea out into the world. Let me remind you, Virgo, that you also had the Fool. The Fool is about heading out on some kind of new adventure, new journey, and a new beginning. And the Empress is then followed immediately by the King of Autumn, indicating King of Autumn corresponds to the King of Pentacles, indicating that whatever this new idea, this new venture is, it probably involves money and finances. Everything here from both your last reading as well as this reading are indicating that there are big changes coming for you, Virgo, in relation to your career and your finances. These cards are not indicating anything with regards to personal or romantic or intimate relationships. The King of Autumn is the assertive king, the King of Pentacles. He's the richest king in the deck. He does bring with him advice, as do all of the kings in the tarot. So watch for some financial advice to be coming into you in the coming days and weeks. Know that if you do receive some formal financial advice, not just some general advice like you got here with this Ten of Pentacles, um, if you do receive some very specific financial advice, the King of Autumn is saying to be assertive. And I sense, and even the cards are just coming right out. It's not even a sense. Let's face it. Give credit where credit's due. I'm giving credit to the cards here. There's something new that you're looking at starting and putting out into the world. And there's some financial advice and financial information that's going to come your way. The next card is the Three of Summer, also known as the Three of Cups. This is the card of celebration. This is also a card that indicates phases and cycles, but it is about some kind of announcement coming your way. Download. Virgo, the download that I just had, it's not going to pertain to everybody out there, but I do feel that it is going to pertain to at least a third, maybe even a half of you, that there may be some kind of financial incentive or financial program that you might want to look into for starting a new project, starting a new venture, putting something new out there. That just came up. Like it was like this whoosh. So I am sharing it with you. If you are in the process of starting up a new business, if you have a new business idea that you're looking at trying to put out there, but you're trying to figure out how you're going to go about doing it. I just had this download. Explore in your area if there are any incentives or programs, and if you can put an application in or something like that. I'm not saying that you're guaranteed to get it, but it just came into me just now. So I share it. And the final card that you have and what you're focusing on is the Justice card. Now, the Justice card has a number of different meanings. First of all, it is about finding balance. The scales of justice prefer to be balanced. If you're not familiar with the scales of justice, no, they're not depicted on this particular deck. But if you're not familiar with the scales of justice, think about the zodiac sign Libra and the sign for them, which is scales. Okay. Scales of justice like to be balanced. This card represents, be sure that you are bringing balance into your life right now, Virgo. This card also asks you to make sure that if you are entering into any kind of contract, be it verbal or written, make sure there is clarity there. If you are entering into a written contract, and this is not legal advice, this is common sense. If you are going to put your John Hancock onto a piece of paper that can later be called a contract, Make sure that you have read it several times through. Make sure all of your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed, and you know all of the details inside and out, Virgo. That's what this card is about. Let's look at difficult influences for you. Difficult influences and challenges. Difficult influences and challenges. Yes, we just hit the nail on the head with regards to your difficult influences and challenges. The first card that jumped out for us for this category is the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is indicating that you may need to ask for some help and some advice. Your finances may not be exactly where you thought they were going to be. You have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, again, is about balance. This is the Karma card. This is the card that says if you have enough to give extra, this is the philanthropic card. If you have enough to give some extra, give it. If you're in need, ask for help. And remember, just before these two cards came out, the Five of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, I had that download of potentially asking for some helps if there's a program in order to help you get the idea out into the world. And then you have the Five of Wands. Interesting that you have two fives in your difficult influences and challenges, right? Okay, so Five of Pentacles is about needing some help. Six of Pentacles is don't be afraid to ask for help. And the Five of Wands is about too many cooks ruin the broth. All right. So it may be with the King of Autumn here, over here, in what you're focusing on. You're focusing upon getting some good advice, good sound advice with regards to your new business. You're going to make sure that you don't put your John Henry on a piece of paper without checking all of the details, Virgo. But the Five of Wands indicates that you may be getting too much advice from too many different sources, and there's a little bit of infighting going on. So watch for that coming up as you're working on getting this new idea or endeavor off the ground. Moving into messages the universe wants you to hear. Messages from the universe for Virgo. All right, we have two messages. First one is everyone has value. Yeah, everyone does have value, but you have to take everybody's advice with that grain of salt. Make sure that you don't have too many cooks ruining the broth. And make each day count. Yes, absolutely. So when you are working on getting something else off the ground, especially when you've had a tower moment, especially when you are looking at your money and finances and kind of stirring things up a little bit, Virgo, make every day count. Getting another download here. Make sure, Virgo, that if your idea is to perhaps start a YouTube channel or begin being a content creator, if you are shifting from the Monday to Friday 9 to 5 working for the machine into self-employment, make each day count and become the content creator, not the consumer. If you are the consumer, then you have more going out than what you have coming in. If you are the creator, you're going to tip the scales of justice in your favor, financially speaking. Let's have a look at unexpected. Move one card on the floor. See if there's anything else coming up. There might be another card hitting the floor here in a second. They landed on my lap. That one didn't go on the floor. Oh, interesting. You have the Knight of Cups And the Death card. Both of them have horses. Okay. High Priestess coming in for you, Virgo. High Priestess asks us, this is in your unexpected. High Priestess asks us to make sure that we are tapping deeply into our intuition, that we listen to our intuition. If our intuition is saying something is not right in the details, oh, God, that saying just came up too. The devil is in the details. Devil is in the details. If something doesn't feel right and you're being asked to sign a contract or enter into something, tap deeply into your intuition and make sure that you are being assertive with this King of Pentacles. You have the Emperor. Emperor is also about being assertive. Strong male energy there, strong, coming directly from intellect. Okay. So the Emperor and the High Priestess being next to each other here, Virgo, is an indication that for you to be able to move forward in this process of putting this new idea out there, possibly this new business venture, you're going to have to combine your intuition and your intellect and make your decisions from a balanced place. And we already have a card here indicating that balance is going to be necessary with the Justice card. You have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is about watching for somebody to potentially sweep you off your feet. Watch for something that might be too good to be true. Entering into something that might be too good to be true. You've got the Death card coming in here. Death card. The Death card is about a change. It's about a change or a metamorphosis. So with this coming in, you've got the High Priestess, the Emperor, the Knight of Cups, and then the Death card. God, you've got so many major arcana coming in here too, Virgo. Very strong energies. There's going to be the necessity for discernment. And I don't very often use that word. That word does not come up in my vocabulary, but it's coming in right now, Virgo, that as you are setting up this new endeavor, discernment is going to be really, really important in order to be able to protect what you're putting out there. And then you have the Two of Wands coming in here, and the Two of Wands is about needing to make a decision. Needing to make a decision and then move forward on it. Okay, let's look at your general overall outcome. And then we're going to pull your yes, no cards here, Virgo. Final general overall outcome for this reading for the Virgos. We've got one card that slipped out of the deck. It didn't really flip. That one flipped. And we've got another card that's sticking out. Let's see what happens. See this card here as I drop the deck? Yeah, and it did actually turn up. So we'll grab that one out as well. Okay, in your general overall outcome, you have the fighting card, you have the ordinariness card, and you have the going with the flow card. Okay. Yeah. You have the fighting card here, and the fighting card is it's a card of charging into something. This card actually corresponds to the Knight of Swords. And it's about charging into something without having all of the answers yet. And so you may create a discord if you go charging in with your swords blazing, if that makes sense. So discernment is the word that's coming up again. You're going to have to create balance as you're putting this new endeavor out into the world with the Fool and the Empress. You're absolutely starting something new. But there's a lot of things here that you're not super familiar with. It's new to you. And so you may feel at times this month, Virgo, like you're being bombarded with advice that is conflicting. And so being able to balance what's coming in, discern what's coming in, and not go riding into something with swords blazing. You want to move into a place of ordinariness. Okay. When we're starting something new, it can feel like things are just swirling all the way around us. And all we want is for stuff to feel balanced and to feel ordinary. As much as it's extremely exciting to put a new endeavor out into the world, there is also certain aspects that are ordinary. Setting up the bank account, for example, setting up articles of incorporation, making sure, finding the right place. All of that is exciting, but it's also ordinary. And so, again, with this Justice card, find the balance and check the details. This Eight of Pentacles can also indicate that you do have the skills necessary if you are doubting yourself at all. This card is reinforcement that you do have the skills necessary, but you may also want to take a couple courses or classes or seminars in order to, brush up on certain aspects of what it is you're putting out there. And then you have the going with the flow card. This card corresponds to the Ace of Cups. And yeah, just go with the flow. Go with the flow. Take things as they come. We're going to leave off there. If this reading resonated deeply for you, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing. And if you are interested in a private consultation and diving deeper, my contact details are down below. Bring to mind your yes/no question. We all walk through life asking, should I, shouldn't I? Do I move across the country? Is he the right guy for me? Is she the right girl for me? All of these types of questions. Perhaps your questions aren't quite as life-changing as that, or maybe they are. Bring your question to mind and ask it several times in your mind. And for the cards, for Virgo, one card, please. Yes or no for Virgo's burning question. There we go. Virgo, in response to your question, the cards are giving you the answer. Let go. Let go. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I would love it if you would allow me the honor of doing your next reading for you in the middle of May. See you then.